What's up, Bills Mafia? I got 8 takeaways from the first half of the Buffalo Bills season. But before we get to that, let's get to that intro.
This is Phase Music.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I always forget to tell you. Well, Bills Mafia, I got 8 takeaways from the first half of the Buffalo Bills 2023 season. And let's get this thing going. By the way, real quick, happy Halloween, everyone. Well, happy Halloween was yesterday, but I feel like saying it now. So happy Halloween. I hope all y'all were safe. Hope all y'all kids got all the candy they could want. And good luck to you guys if you're parents with all that candy going on in the household. You're going to have some crazy kids running around for the next couple weeks. All right, let's get this thing going. All right, first up, staying healthy is an issue. Golly, it is. Let's get the worst out of the way. The Bills have struggled to stay healthy in 2023. Last year, the same way, guys. Mostly on defense. Buffalo struggling to fill the holes left behind by cornerback Trey White, Achilles, linebacker Matt Milano, leg, and defensive tackle Daquan Jones, torn pec. The latter two have had players fill in and leave something to be desired. At cornerback, the Bills have gotten solid play from Christian Benford and Dane Jackson, but both have also missed time with short-term injuries, and the difficulties have fallen. Yeah, man, look, cornerback was a major concern of mine when Trey went out. And Brandon Beane yesterday during the trade deadline, which, by the way, I will be doing a separate video later about the newly acquired cornerback Rasul Douglas, who joined the Buffalo Bills yesterday via trade. Excellent trade by Brandon Beane, I gotta say. A position that it was a must need. It must need, whatever you want to call it. We had to have a corner in here to fill Trey White's spot. For as much as I like Christian Benford, he's just not there yet. Will he ever get there? Yeah, maybe. I believe in the kid. I think he's shown us from year 1 to year 2 his growth. He had a really good game last week against Mike Evans. So that's really, really good to see because Mike Evans is one of the best receivers in the game. So Christian Benford, who locked him down most of the game, and that's a good sign moving forward. But we needed somebody else in here. And unfortunately for our first-round pick last year, Keion Elim, he's just not getting playing time, and he was a healthy scratch again last week. Josh Norman actually got the go, and that tells you everything you need to know about Keion Elim. Now, most of us thought Keion Elim may have been traded or was going to be on the trade block because of that, and he wasn't. It seems like the Bills still are holding on hope that he works out, which I understand. He's a first-round pick, but at the same time, you're not helping that kid in any way by making him inactive week in, week out. Confidence it has to be shot at this point. I really wish that they would give the kid an opportunity, but right now, no need. You went ahead and got Rasul Douglas. The only way you see Keion Elim the rest of the way moving forward, guys, is if there is an injury with Dane Jackson or Christian Benford. So you may not see Keion Elim back on the field this season. So we'll see what they do with Keion, but yeah, man, injuries have been tough for this team, just like they were tough last season. Let's just hope that we could stay injury free the rest of the way to rest of the season. And some of the guys that are due to come back, well, they're hoping that will come back, like Matt Milano and Daquan Jones do return in time for the playoffs and help us out on a playoff run. But yesterday, I felt like Brandon Beane, you know, he did his job and he went ahead and made that trade. And I know it was difficult. By the way, I saw the press conference today by Brandon Beane. He's like, I hate giving up draft picks, but sometimes you got to, guys. And sometimes you got to roll the dice. And by the way, that third round draft pick was a freebie, anyways. That was a freebie for Edmonds signing with Chicago. We got a compensatory third round pick. So really, it was a freebie. So really, it is what it is. And we picked up a fifth round on top of that. So we got Rasul Douglas and a fifth round pick for basically for free because we let's be real, it's a free pick. So I'm good with that. Thank you, Brandon Beane, for not holding back, for actually rolling the dice, taking a chance, and getting a ball hawk. We needed it. We really needed a ball hawk. All right, next up. Stefon Diggs is still an all-pro. Stefon Diggs has continued to roll at a top-tier level. Entering week 7, he was 4th in the NFL with 678 yards, and he is showing no signs of slowing down. Yeah, man, Stefon Diggs, man, he's that dude. He is that dude. Like, there's no other, nothing else really to say. He's that guy, right? He's that dude that brings it week in, week out. You know what you're going to get from Stefon Diggs. And I, once again, I understand his frustrations going into the season because he's that dynamic of a player. You got that dynamic of a player on the field with a dynamic quarterback in Josh Allen. We should be we should be a better team. And we shouldn't be struggling so much, in the postseason and the playoffs. So I understand his frustrations. I'm surprised he's just not really venting more this season because we've had some rough games on offense. But I feel like he's being a good teammate this year, extremely biting his tongue a little bit, probably more than anybody would want, because things have not looked great, especially over the last, I'm going to say 4 weeks now, going on 4 weeks since the Jacksonville game. Because even last week, the offense got ramped up. The first half looked good, and I'm like, oh, yeah, here we go, baby. Offense is back. And then we laid 7 points in the second half. It's still not on track, but it was good to see the offense score more than 6 points in the first half the last time we played. And hopefully, moving forward, they see that up tempo is actually something that works for this offense, and maybe they keep going with that. I'm not sure what else they can do right now on offense that's going to work, until Ken Dorsey actually starts to understand what players he has on this team and the player strengths. Until he understands that, we are going to be in a funk, I think. He's not using Hardy correctly. He's not using Sherfield correctly. The shotgun draws that he continues to run on short downs are just driving me insane. Against Tampa Bay, we left 7 points off the board because on a 2nd and 1, he decided to go, shotgun draw, or his 3rd and 1, he goes shotgun draw. And you just can't do that. You got to go under center and either have Allen, quarterback sneak that, or go under center and have Murray pounded in there. It just doesn't make any sense to go in shotgun draw. And he continues to do plays like that just has Bills Mafia scratching their head week in, week out. And until he figures that part out of his game plan or his play calling, we're going to continue to have these kind of games where we're leaving points off the board, and it shouldn't happen. But I did like what I saw from the up tempo. I give him credit for that. Ken Dorsey, that is. And hopefully he can figure out the player strengths, like the Hardys or Sherfields of the world, and use them properly in this second half of the season. All right, let's go to the next one. Bernard has gotten the job done. Milano's injury was noted, but How much worse could that be if Terrell Bernard wasn't standing out? The Bills are not missing Tremaine Edmonds much. Yeah, man, listen. I was super concerned when we got rid of Edmonds or Edmonds signed somewhere else, and the Buffalo Bills and Brandon Beane were pretty much going to roll the dice with Dotson or Bernard and or Klein, let's say. Even let's put Klein in the mix. But if you go back in time in the start of the offseason, Dotson was the front runner to get that job at middle linebacker. And I was super concerned. I already know what Dotson was about. He's been on this team for a couple seasons now. And I thought we had a problem going, at middle linebacker right away. And they weren't going to draft one, and they sure as hell didn't. Then the training camp comes around and Bernard gets hurt. No preseason for Bernard. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Dotson's going to be the guy that starts week 1. And by the way, Dotson had a terrible preseason and training camp, getting into fights in training camp. Preseason, he did not look good. Not a very good pass coverage linebacker. So, yeah, I had a lot of concerns going into the season. And then McDermott hit us with Bernard's going to get the start. And I think it shocked a lot of people because I thought, like me, I think a lot of people thought Dotson was going to get the nod because he was the veteran, because of Bernard's injury. But McDermott wound up doing the right thing, putting the right guy in there. And Bernard, there wasn't much film on him except for college. He didn't see much playing time last season with the Buffalo Bills. And when he did come in, it was okay. Nothing really stood out to me. But this season, man, he's been a blessing in disguise, man. And I'm glad that McDermott chose the right guy, and I think all Bills Mafia are happy that he chose the right guy. So, all right, next up, Keion Elim's time could be over. I think it is, guys. Former first-round pick Keion Elim is on the verge of being a bust. From being inactive multiple times this season to finding himself benched, now reports indicate that Bills might deal Elim at the 2023 NFL trade deadline. Yikes. Good thing Buffalo hit a lot of other picks made over the past 2 years. So, as we know, this article is probably a day or two old. Keion Elim was not dealt. Keion Elim's still on this team. I wonder if teams even called about Keion Elim. So, let's not get it twisted. Elim may have been on the trade block. Just because we didn't trade him doesn't mean the Buffalo Bills weren't dealing him, but maybe teams weren't interested. It's very possible that's the case as well. Or it's the case that the Buffalo Bills still believe in Keion Elim, and they're going to hold on to him. But it's just crazy to me that if they believe in him so much, why is he inactive from the jump, right? And the only time you saw him playing is because of injury. And now that we've picked up, Rasul Douglas, and then you got Josh Norman who took a spot last week, it's not looking good for Keion. I don't know what they're going to do with him in the offseason. They're not going to just cut him. But all I can say for Keion is, man, you gotten another chance and opportunity because you weren't dealt. This offseason coming up, you better work hard at your craft, man. You better figure this defense out, because if you don't figure the defense out, then I could definitely see them either cutting him the following season or just taking anything anyone's willing to offer for Keion Elim at that point if he's still not seeing the field in 2024. But that's down the road. But man, I worry about that pick as well, man. But just real quick about the bust situation. I don't know if I think he could be a bust for us, but I also think he could thrive somewhere else in someone else's defensive scheme. I just don't know if the zone scheme is the right fit for Keion Elim, and he's struggling, and you can see it. So it's very possible that he turns out to be a bust for us, but he winds up doing well for someone else. Just throwing that out there. Now, if he goes somewhere else and he doesn't see playing time or he's cut or whatever, then yeah, we can go ahead and label him a bust. But right now, I'm not willing to do that. All right, next up, James Cook looks solid. Few would call James Cook one of the NFL's best running backs. Uh, heck, he might not even be in the top 10 rushers, but he's gotten the job done in the first season as a clear number one running back for the Bills. I like James Cook. I do. But here's the problem with James Cook. He's not a 3-down back. He's not a bruiser back. He's not good at pass protection. You guys see it. He's undersized. He whiffs a lot. And that is a problem, guys. Pass protection you got to be a good pass protection running back if you're going to be a 3-down back. He didn't get a lot of carries in Georgia. He's not getting a lot of carries here since becoming an NFL player. I like him though. He has good sight. He's good speed. I feel like his vision's pretty good. But he also, like I said, he lacks size. And he's gotten a little better running between the tackles, but he's still not quite there yet. And that's why I really hope that next season the Buffalo Bills go ahead and either draft a running back that's a bigger size running back, or 3-down running backs, because you guys, you can find them 2nd round, 3rd round, they're there. Okay. And listen, that's another reason why the Buffalo Bills just brung in Leonard Fournette, because of Harris injury. Fournette's a bigger back, a bruiser, a better pass protection running back, guy that can also catch out the backfield. So I think what they're going to wind up doing with what they were doing before earlier in the season when they had Cook, Harris, and Murray, they're going to probably continue that trend where, Murray's the lead back to start a game, just to kind of, get the game going, get the defense, soften the defense up a little bit, and then sprinkle in James Cook and then with Fournette as the game goes on, and pretty much have Fournette close the show. Use Fournette on short yardage situations, goal line situations, and even maybe even passing plays where Cook is a liability on pass protection. So don't be surprised if by week, I would say week I want to say week 11. Let's just say a couple weeks after Fournette's been a member of the Buffalo Bills and seeing playing time, you see the snap count of Fournette go a little bit higher. You will see him on the field a little bit more as he gets used to this offense, learns the playbook a little bit more. So I think that also, by the way, I think that's a good signing for the Buffalo Bills, bringing in Fournette, because I don't know what's going to happen with Harris. I don't know if Harris is going to even wind up coming back, if this neck thing is more serious than they thought initially, or he also has a concussion, by the way. Both not good. So I wonder what their plan is, because now if you bring back Harris, now you got 4 running backs on the squad. You got to do something with one of them, and I don't think they're going to get rid of Murray. Murray's had a pretty good year. I could see Harris being the odd man out, in my opinion. Maybe do an injury settlement or put him on the practice squad, something like that. But that was the one thing, guys, I was worried about going into the season with Harris. And mind you, I feel bad for the guy. It was a bad injury, neck injury. I never want to see that. But injuries have followed this man's career since he was drafted. He just cannot stay on the field. I told you guys he's a good running back when healthy, but that's a big win, right? He's just not healthy enough. He can't give you, these, 18 weeks, 18 weeks of an NFL season. And it's already shown it. Matter of fact, he was injured in the preseason or in training camp preseason. I forget which one it was, but he missed time there. And then he's already hurt. And then I think he got hurt as well in the season. And then he got hurt again right now. So, yeah, the Fournette signing makes sense. We'll see. I would say just keep an eye out on what they do with Harris moving forward. All right, next up, Josh Allen isn't running. Quarterback Josh Allen is George. Man, look, they're writing here. Quarterback Josh Allen is having a good season overall. He is competing. He is completing a career high 71.7% of his passes and is the only quarterback in the Super Bowl era with at least 17 touchdown passes and 5 rushing scores through 8 games. But Allen is not running the ball like we've seen in the past. His play involved rushing it more in Buffalo's most recent win over the Buccaneers, so we'll have to wait and see if that continues. That dynamic quarterback is the harder one to deal with, and I agree. Now, listen, I'm not saying go out there and run Josh Allen, 10 times a game. I don't think anyone wants to see that, but we definitely want to see a little bit more Josh Allen taking off at times or a couple design runs that worked well in the past. But you don't have to go crazy with it. He also has a hurt shoulder, and that's something else that we don't want to, have to worry about him taking off, landing on his shoulder. Because if you guys saw last week, he was fine up until the point where he took off and then he got tackled, fell on his shoulder, and then he got hurt. So we also don't want to risk Allen's, injuring a shoulder again, and then we got a problem. But I do think holding Josh Allen back, handcuffing him, is a problem too. You don't want to do that either. That's what makes him dynamic. And when we say we want the old Josh back, yeah, like we do, but we also don't want the crazy turnovers with it, right? Like we don't mind a few, but we don't want 3-4 a game like the week 1, where I think it was 4 total turnovers. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 4. 3 interceptions, 1 fumble. We don't want that, Josh, but an interception a game or something, that's fine. We're gonna, that's what he brings, guys. Like he takes chances, and I'm willing to accept that. Just don't do too many crazy chances. But I thought last week him taking off, design quarterback run. I think it was the second play of the game or first or second play of the game. And I loved it. I think it gets Josh going like just pumped up, ramped up and gets his blood flowing and it gets the team's blood flowing, right? Like they're all hyped up. So I do like to see it here and there in the game. I think it motivates the team and, bring that Josh back. Just dial down a little bit on the turnovers, and I'm all good with it. All right, next up, the Bills finally got their pass rush right. For years, the Bills wanted their pass rush to be among the NFL's best. Even after initially signing Von Miller last season, once he went down with injury, it wasn't working out. In 2023, Buffalo's pass rush is firing on all cylinders. The addition of Leonard Floyd has helped. Meanwhile, Gregory Rousseau and A.J. Epinesa have taken great steps. The Bills are tied for the second most sacks in the NFL with 28. And, I will say this, over the past couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, really 3 weeks, the sacks numbers have gone down. We started hot, but we've cooled down a little bit in that category. I think as Von gets healthier as the season goes on, you'll see that sack total start to go back up per game. And I think also too, we've missed a few. Leonard Floyd missed one yesterday on Thursday night. He had Baker Mayfield. He went high, and Baker Mayfield just got out of it. But that's a sack that should have happened. Leonard Floyd understands that. He's been a great addition, by the way. Also, AJ Epinesa, he's on a contract year. He's trying to ball out. He's having his best season of his career. So yeah, man. Listen. Oh, also Ed Oliver getting to the quarterback. Obviously, Daquan Jones too is starting to get to the quarterback, and missing him is a big deal. Okay. Hopefully they go out and they get it like a Sue to fill in while Daquan is rehabbing. By the way, Sue would be great. Like that's one guy I would absolutely love to come here and fill in because Tim Settle has not done a good job, in my opinion. Puna Ford is doing a better job than Settle. but he's not really the answer, okay, that we need right now at defensive tackle. So, but listen, I think our sack numbers will start to go back up once Von Miller starts to get healthier. You'll see that attack coming on more and more and more, in my opinion. All right, let's get to it. Finer details are concerning. In the second half of the year, undoubtedly, the Bills need to focus on their finer details a bit more, namely slow starts and closing out games. Far too often, both of those scenarios have not been handled well. Head coach Sean McDermott needs to spearhead these areas before the postseason arrives. Absolutely, he could do a way better job. McDermott is frustrating at times for me as a head coach. Love the guy, love everything he's done here. But at times, man, it's head scratching what he's doing out there, calling unnecessary timeouts, bad clock management. Uh, it's just crazy. The London trip was a nightmare getting the players out there on Friday when you damn know you need to get out there earlier for for your mind and body to adjust to a trip like that, to a time change like that. He should have known better. But hey, that's the past and we're working on the future now, right? The present time, so present and future. So, yeah, McDermott needs to do a better job in some of these categories. But overall, I think McDermott's done a really good job considering all the things we just talked about earlier, which was all the injuries. You lost some key players to this defense, guys, and he's doing the best he can. I don't know a lot of teams that could say they lost three uh key pieces on defense on one side of the ball and still are one of the better defenses in the NFL. So, in that part, I respect the hell out of him. Now on the offensive side, I kind of feel like he has handcuffed Josh Allen since that week one performance. And he's also been too conservative. Go back to Thursday night's game against the Buccaneers. We scored 17 points in the first half. Things are going great. We're up tempo. We come out, we score right away in the third quarter, first series of the drive, and we let our foot off the gas pedal. And we let the Buccaneers slowly creep back in, and we almost lost that game because we didn't continue to pound to keep our foot on the gas pedal, right? To stomp on their throats, to just end it. And it's cost us a few games throughout his career when we played like that. And it almost cost us, like I said, this last game. You got to close games out better than that. Also defensively, I feel sometimes he goes into this soft zone. He changes up his game plan where he's kind of almost playing scared not to lose the game on like a deep shot or anything like that. Like he has to continue to let the defense do what they've been doing most of the game. Understand what your defense has been doing well and continue to do that. But like I said, man, that's followed his career here while being a head coach. He's crumpled in big situations, big time, big games. I'm hoping that he's learning more and more and he's changing his ways. But some of these things, these decisions, like I said, that he makes are mind-boggling. The 4th and 2. I understand 4th and 5. You've been pinning the Buccaneers back. Great punts by Sam Martin. Defense has been doing their job most of the game. But on a 4th and 2 where you could pretty much end the game, for me, you go for it there. And a lot of coaches would. And even Josh Allen, you could kind of see how he was not feeling that decision on that 4th and 2. 4th and 5, I totally understand, guys. I get that. But a 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and I'm not saying go for it every single time, but there's a certain part of a game where you need to trust in your offense, trust in your quarterback, that they can get the job done and just seal the game. And he just sometimes goes too conservative. All right, guys. So that is the 8 takeaways from the first half of the Buffalo Bills season. What I want to see in the second half is this offense really starting to find their way again. They need to start playing much faster. They need to get out the gate a lot faster in the first half, score some points going into half, not just 3 or 6. Give me what I saw in the Buccaneers game. Give me 14, 17 points to help our defense out. Listen, our defense is not going to be lights out every single game. The offense is going to have to step up and do their job, put some real points on the board. 20 is not going to cut it when they're going against teams like the Chiefs and the Bengals and the Dolphins and the Cowboys. You need to put points up. You have and the Chargers. Like I said, 20 is not going to cut it. 24 sometimes not going to cut it. The defense needs the offense to step up in the second half and put some real points on the board. I think also Ken Dorsey in the second half needs to figure it out. Has to figure it out. Has to figure out his offense. He has to figure out what players do what best. What's your players' strengths? What's their weaknesses? What do they do best? What does Deontay Hardy do best? Well, he's super fast, so you can use him in some jet sweeps. You can use him in motions, some pop passes, some more deeper routes, some more slants. There's a lot more that you can get Deontay Hardy involved in this offense that you're not doing. You're only doing pretty much the basic with him right now. Wide receiver screen passes. Listen, defenses are sniffing that out right away. It's time to get Hardy more involved. Also Sherfield. Let's get Sherfield a little bit more involved in this offense. He's a 6'2" receiver with some speed. You saw what he did with Miami last year. I'm not saying he's an unbelievable receiver, but he definitely, he has some strengths to his game. I also want to see Dalton Kincaid get more involved with the offense. Now, we have seen it the last 2 weeks, which is a really good sign moving forward. But I want to see a bigger route tree from Dalton Kincaid, not just short underneath stuff. I want to see him going a little bit more deeper routes like he did in Utah, which you kind of saw last week. It almost seems like they are starting to trust Dalton Kincaid more in the offense, and Josh Allen starting to also trust Dalton Kincaid a little bit more as well. I also think the running game has to get going better too. I really do. I think James Cook has to improve on pass blocking, pass protection. Though I don't know if he can. That just may be his body. He's just not a big guy, but he still has to try to improve if he's going to be out there. Also, the offensive line, pass protection has been an issue for me the last couple games. They have to do a better job pass protection for Josh Allen, and also obviously run blocking as well. This offensive line, though, to me, has done a way better job than I expected, and it's good to see. But I would say the last 2 or 3 weeks, they haven't played, up to my standard, how I been seeing them play for the first, 3-4 weeks of the season. They've struggled a little bit. I thought Osiris Torrance struggled last week, so he could play better, and I know he can. So those guys have to do a better job moving forward for the second half of the season. Josh needs protection. When Josh gets protection, we are a dangerous team. He's a super dangerous quarterback. You guys saw in the Tampa game, give him some time, let the play develop, and he can make the pass. There was a play to Gabe Davis that took a little while to develop, but the pass protection was there, and they let the play develop, and Josh Allen hit him for a touchdown. But if the offensive line crumbled there and didn't give Allen enough time for that play to develop, there's probably no touchdown there. So that goes to show you how important pass protection is. So I hope they do a better job in the second half than what they've been showing over the last 3-4 weeks. But other than that, man, let's go do this. Guys, this is the time, man. The second half of the season is the most important. And the Buffalo Bills have shown in the past that they are a second half team. And this is where they go ahead and go on their little streak. And let's go ahead and win that AFC East, go into playoffs, and do some damage. All right, Bills Mafia. I love you. And as always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Peace.